Season 6, Episode 6 of The X-Files is a great holiday episode. It's appropriately named How the Ghosts Stole Christmas. This episode is another one of what I consider the cute or themed episodes. It has the agents encountering ghosts in a haunted house on Christmas Eve. And before you assume, oh, the writers are just trying to shoehorn something supernatural into a Christmas situation because it's the X-Files, historically, Christmas was a time to gather and tell ghost stories. In Western culture, it was just as much associated with ghosts and telling scary stories by the fire as Halloween. Not to mention the obvious parallels between this episode and Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, mainly since the ghosts are there specifically to teach the agents a moral lesson. It starts with a creepy old house at night somewhere in Maryland. It's Christmas Eve and... I'm sorry. I just have to pause and say I live in Maryland, and this is not the right weather for December. At the very least, there would be a dusting of snow on the ground, and these two would be way more bundled up because it goes down to freezing every night in December in Maryland. The underdressed agents meet in front of the house. Scully is on her way to see family, but Mulder just wants to do some urbex at this old place. He tells her a story of a couple that unalived themselves in 1917 so they could be forever together in the afterlife. He goes into the house and Scully tries to leave, but she can't find her keys. She follows Mulder inside and they creep around. They are both jumpy and hear and see typical haunted house stuff.
These are tricks that the mind plays. They are ingrained cliches from 1,000 different horror films.
Wow, is she riffing her own show? Is this an example of lamp shading? They find a room that's well lit and clean, unlike the rest of the house. They hear something under the floor and find mummies dressed in the same clothing they're wearing. They try to leave but get separated. Mulder meets an old ghost man who taunts him about being a self-indulgent prick who believes in bunk. I mean, he's not wrong. Scully meets an old ghost woman who taunts her about her codependent relationship with Mulder. The old ghost man comes in. They reveal to her that they're actually ghosts and she loses consciousness. Mulder is still trying to get out of the room. The ghosts play mind games with them, impersonating each agent, eventually shooting each one while disguised as the other. The agents, both believing themselves to be mortally wounded, crawl toward the door. It looks like they may shoot each other again when Mulder realizes that it was all a fabrication by the ghosts. They go outside and find the blood is gone from their clothes, and their wounds have disappeared. They run to their cars and drive away. The ghosts sit by the fire and congratulate themselves on scaring the foolish mortals into appreciating a better work-life balance. The end. This episode's okay. It's a nice shift in tone. It's literally self-contained in a single room with only 4 characters. Very much a bottle episode. I like that it takes place in Maryland. Since moving here, I find it to be a pleasantly spooky place. There's lots of spooky, dark forests, there's a large community of modern witches, and many haunted locations. I work in Baltimore's theaters and find that pretty much everyone has at least one ghost. My friend Kimberly even wrote a book about the haunted locations around Maryland. So what do you think? Is this a good Christmas-themed episode? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.